Hi, this is Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons and Dragons, and we're going to talk about dungeon mastering when you're low. All right, so first of all, before I get into the main content, I need to kind of give a content warning. So, hi, I'm Scott Garibay. I am low right now. I am just at a personal low. Now, why do I need to tell you that? Well, you listen to this channel, right? And the reality is, I have really dedicated myself to, while this channel is active, I've made a promise to myself that I will do one video a day. And that I'll tell you right now, I've been doing this 8 years, and it is very hard. It is very hard. On sometimes it's like smooth as glass, right? But sometimes it's hard, right? And so what I want to warn you is, okay, it's Monday. Until next Monday, I'm working through something personally. I really am feeling low, and the ramifications of that, the reason that is happening is I just ended an 8-year friendship, right? And that is an incredibly uncomfortable event. And the biggest thing is, like, this friendship took a lot of it brought me a lot of joy, but it also took a lot of time, right? So I'm getting like huge sections of 2 days a week for me back, right? Because I did these things with this friend. Now that friend's gone. Not like they're still they're for other people now. That person is not in my world, right? They're in a different world. Other people can enjoy their presence. I will no longer be enjoying that person's presence, and that actually unlocks a ton of stuff for me, right? And my life is tight as a drum. I have a lot of responsibilities and I do a lot, right? And so gaining back like 2 day halves is hugely important, and so I'm excited about the possibilities of what I can do with that time, but I'm incredibly low about losing this friend, right? And I ended my friendship with this person, and I made it super clear that we are done, right? And there's ramifications of that I need to walk through, but I am low. I do not want to be cutting videos right now. I do not want to be creating content right now. All right, let's talk about but I'm going to tell you why I'm making content, and it's the same reason you need to DM when you're low. All right, so first of all, why should we DM when we're low? There are going to be times where you do not feel like dungeon mastering, right? You are just mentally and emotionally low, right? Now, if you're physically low, if you literally like are not, if you're physically low, don't DM when you're physically low, right? That's not a good idea. But if you're mentally and emotionally low, but you're physically sound, right? You're able to walk to the table and able to stay focused for 2 hours, then you should dungeon master, in my humble opinion. And here's why. First and foremost, if you don't know this, the most valuable currency in life is not money. It is time, right? And I don't think people have any idea. Like I'm convinced people have no idea what every session of Dungeons and Dragons means. It is somebody saying, I'm giving you 2 to 4 hours of my life. Right? The right amount is 2 hours, but many people are still running 4-hour games, right? And so basically they're giving you this incredible gift, right? And so the reality is, when you cancel, there's 4 to 5 people who are not going to be able to continue to do their thing, right? And so it is incredibly important. And so even if you feel low, that is not the time to stop dungeon mastering. You need to power through and dungeon master when you feel low. And I will say this: if the purpose of Dungeons and Dragons is fun for you, ignore this. Call off your game whenever you want. Nothing that happens at your table matters, right? And your game doesn't matter. And nobody's ever going to learn or change or grow at your table, okay? So if you're still dedicated to Dungeons and Dragons for fun, ignore this vice completely, right? But if you're dedicated, right, to using Dungeons and Dragons to improve yourself and improve others, if you're dedicated to using Dungeons and Dragons to uphold the legacy of Gary Gygax, then you dungeon master when you're low. And the reason why is people are counting on you, right? And you need to power through. Here's the second one. I have made a life of doing things when I'm emotionally and mentally low, right? I think I'm an intense, adamant person. I have highs and lows, and I enjoy the highs, right? But if I stop my life every time there's a low and stop doing the things that I do, I become weaker. And And that's the issue is, are you going to become stronger emotionally and mentally, or are you going to become weaker? And if you stop doing things when you're mentally and emotionally low, then you're going to become mentally and emotionally weaker. But if you continue forward and you power through and you take the pain, the mental and emotional pain of doing the things that you are, that you have promised yourself that you will do, then you will become mentally and emotionally stronger. So, content for this warning: if my frequency seems lower than it normally is, you're correct. It's a low point for Garibay, right? And it's this time of self-reflection, and I gotta unpack a lot of stuff, but I don't stop, right? And I'm telling you, when it comes to dungeon mastering, do not stop. Don't be that person who used to dungeon master. All that's my humble opinion. I'm eager to hear yours. Let me know in the comments below. Please consider subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.